Here we are at another Alpha Strike We Play video, and Taryn and I have been having a look at. Yes, he's under a bit of stress, actually. You're just looking at all these. We're having a look at all the designs of the battle armor that's come out for both Innisphere and the clans.
Yeah,
and there's, I mean, a lot of the timeline is gone, and there's a buttload of them. You know,
yeah.
But when, I mean, you and I were playing when the clans sort of first started coming along, and then they introduced the standard sort of battle armor that you see. So the ones that you get in the Clan Invasion box set, which has little stands, they're elemental battle armor, and that's sort of the main one that the clans came up with.
Clan standard.
Good balance and that sort of thing. But we wanted to have a look at some of the other designs that are out there. So obviously the clans were working on theirs first, although we were just talking about it before. The Innisphere ages ago, you know, when the first Star League was around, they did have suits. They did have suits.
This one. So they had light power armor, what they call a PAL, PAL.
Yeah,
so
but it's
power armor. It's
more like a assisted strength suit or something.
It looks kind of like
you got a picture of one there? I can put it up on
so this is a Nighthawk, which is one of my favourite battle armors. That is the Nighthawk.
That is sexy.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
But it's basically just armor plated. It's like a plate armor set, but with little motors and things that help you actually move. It's like an outside sort of.
It's like a strength assistant thing too. Like they do actually have some today. Like I saw some things on YouTube and whatever.
You can get like a type of exosuit.
Yeah, it's a suit sort of thing. So it actually has like a lot of. We're not talking war at this point now. It's like with the ones that they have now. I'm sure they have military applications. But
I saw a guy who set himself up with like a leg brace that had motors in it, and he could kick in it. He put an axe head on the end of his toe, and he was kicking through a log.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, okay. So we're getting there. Yeah. Getting there.
But it's it's sort of age with strength, and people who sort of do lifting and moving and things like just like picking fruit or anything where you have to sort of bend down and do all that sort of thing, it takes a lot of the pressure off.
Yeah.
And that was the basis of them. It helps the soldiers
like
get
an
stronger.
Exoskeleton type thing, and then they slowly evolved it to have armor and weapons. But these guys, the Nighthawks, were mainly used as scouts.
That's right. Yeah, they couldn't really take a hit like the clan suits, which are just super tough. These were like your scouts and infiltration and
stealth reconnaissance.
Stealth recon. But I
think most of the versions of the Nighthawk that were Star League era have at least basic stealth armor on them. And if you don't know what that is, go back and watch the things. It gives you bonuses when you're further away. Sort of thing. But they had, I think, all of them except for like the Succession War ones that kind of stuck around a little bit. Anybody who had these didn't really advertise it. As far as I'm aware, they didn't want people knowing they had them. They were very, very stealth, very, very secret.
Yeah.
And I think as they slowly deteriorated, they were replaced with just standard armor. So they didn't have the stealth armor anymore.
Yeah.
But they're very, very cool, and I love them. I reckon they're great. And there is, I think, a version of them with tag.
Which is like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, just makes them even better.
Really good.
So, yeah, I'd have to have a look. But they are very, very cool. They definitely come with an ECM, I'm pretty sure, in at least one version.
I think it just for themselves, it just affects them. Or
That's
the
one we were talking about in that. It's just one hex bubble around them.
Yeah.
But that goes with the stealth armor then. So you've got that thing there. But yeah, it's just light power armor. So they had that in the Star League era, and then What's His Features went away, chucked his hissy fit and wandered off, and he took that away with him.
See, this is if an Australian reads the history of BattleTech. Bruce here.
Yeah. What's His Features went,
nah.
They called a wambulance and they took off.
Wambulance.
Kerensky during that. No, we're not going to do that.
Nah, mate.
No,
you can't have any of this with me. No.
Well, basically, they took at least some of the power armor and like the specs behind power armor.
Oh, yeah, they had all of that.
Yeah, and they took it away with them, and it developed over time, and it came back as the elementals that we see in the box set, and it ripped stuff up.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It just ripped stuff up. And then after about 30, 50, 30, 60, there's an explosion of like inner sphere battle armor. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they had
It's insane.
There was a lot of cooperation not between probably the major factions, because they all did their own thing, but individuals and maybe corporations.
Yeah.
They all sort of did their thing. There's a lot of, like with any bit of technology in BattleTech, there's always a bit of espionage and things like that. And let's not talk about Comstar and the Word of Blake.
No, let's not.
They wouldn't be like sharing stuff that everyone has to talk to them.
I'm pretty sure it mentions in here that they kept some of these, like a secret stash of these somewhere.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, because they like when they didn't have a military force, it was all secret. They kept everything a secret and things like that. But so Comstar / Word of Blake, they have their own sort of stuff. Everyone sort of started developing their own, and we're going to talk about some of those in this video. But yeah, and
it was Clan Wolf that developed it, the elementals.
That's correct. Yeah, although there was a lot of the suits and things like that. Like I'm going to talk about the Salamander very shortly. That was actually sort of being looked at before, but it was originally designed as, I'll put the picture up here. It was originally designed as a anti-infantry, so I don't think it looked like that because I don't have any sort of pre-thing. But this is considered a medium level one. So what happened is so it's named after the mystic creature of fire. Okay?
Yeah,
because it had like flamers and some basic stuff on there, but it was designed for urban warfare against infantry. Now we've just been talking about infantry, and they can be quite nasty.
It is definitely designed for against infantry. Holy crap!
Yeah, but I mean, again, you've got to look at like clan warriors and things like that. It's not really very exciting, and you're probably not going to get a lot of honor. You're doing what you're supposed to do, I suppose, but. Yeah, but
taking 2 flamers and fire-resistant armor, wading into a bunch of foot troops and hosing them down is not really honorable, is
it? But a lot of the other clans started doing their own totem things, like totem mechs and totem this and totem that was pretty popular, and this was no different to the Salamander because it's the clan Fire Mandrill was having a look at it. Okay. They wanted something that was their own. Yep. So they had a look at the design and say, okay, yep, like the Salamander, yep, flamers and all that sort of thing. How can we make it a bit more
mandrilly?
Well, there's not just that, but how do we make it sort of a bit more? It can do some more on the battlefield if it has to, especially because battle mechs are king, obviously. Yeah. So you want to be able to threaten those. So they went off and they redesigned it.
Ooh,
and basically the Salamander suit that you see in that picture that I showed you. That's what it looks like. So that is the current one that you will see coming at you and tearing your mech to pieces. All right. So this is a medium one. It has 2 flamers like before, but it also has a 1-shot, 1 missile Inferno. Yeah, SRM-1 Inferno. It is heat resistant, so flamers and Inferno missiles do not affect them. So that's really good. But the main thing is they gave it some extra like manipulators and things like that. So it can actually climb, it gets bonuses when it does anti-mech attacks. That's the feat. You have a look at the feet.
I wasn't aware you were allowed to change the feet.
Well, they probably just designed it like that. So they use the claw thing. So it still has twin manipulators. I think it has an anti-personnel
mount
on it or something. But yeah. But it's quite fast. I think it still has jump. I'm pretty sure it has jump. I think it was a movement of 3 or something.
Yeah, 90 meters,
Yeah, 90 meters at a time.
3 jump.
Yeah, and the manipulators give it superior climbing abilities to other suits. Yeah, so sacrifice armor, but increase your capabilities and things like that.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm a fan of the Fire Mandrills, so when I look at, but if you look at that design, if you saw that coming at you, you'd wet yourself.
Well, if you see 5 of them trying to clamber up your mech and rip it to bits, then especially if it's starting to overheat. If you can get them all to get some solid hits in with that heat damage, then the mechs are slowing down.
That's
You're
right.
slowing down, these things are catching you up and they're doing more heat damage, and then then they can climb up you and rip your head off.
And you can't fire all your weapons, so you start getting worse that way as well. But
that's wow.
But it's really good. But I mean, if you go after vehicles and things like that too, it's a real threat. They've rounded it out, so it's still deadly against infantry, which is what it was originally supposed to do, because fire, why not? But now, jump capable, bonuses against attacking mechs. The Inferno is amazing against vehicles and infantry, of course. Yes, but they're all gone.
And proto-mechs, and even against mechs, it's useful.
Yep.
I mean...
And it can ride on a mech into battle.
Yeah.
That's just like you load those up onto, say, a light or a medium Omni with decent speed and get that in where you need it. Get that into a city or a built-up area.
Yeah. You put them on like a Nova or a... was it Adder?
Yeah, something with like a 9 run.
Yeah.
Something like that is fine. I mean, faster is better, of course, but you want to make sure you can survive to get
them
there.
on a dasher. And
Well, that's it. Yeah, not everyone's got those. But I really like that. BV wise per unit, I don't know, it's not that much more expensive. I think it was like, it says 49 for the BV1.
Yeah.
But for BV2, it's usually a little bit more. So I should have had a look at that before we started filming.
I'm not sure what the BV2 would be.
That's fine.
But it would be more, yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. So if you're sort of going C-bill wise, it's just, 475,000 C-bills a unit. But I think it was $500,000 for the standard clan one too. So
I can get 3 Savannah... No, I can get almost a lance full of Savannah Masters for that.
Yeah.
For one of them.
Yeah, we should buy shares in the Savannah Master factories, because they must just keep pumping those out for nothing, eh?
99 grand for a Savannah Master. just over 99,000 C-bills for a Savannah Master, which is just a really fast single medium laser. Look at that!
Oh, look at that! That's so good.
There's a Clan Jade Falcon version that replaces the flamers with heavy machine guns.
Yes.
And then there's a Clan...
I didn't say no to that either, actually, because it's still got I think it's still got the Inferno missile. It's just that it just
takes the flamers off and puts heavy machine guns on.
Good.
And then another one that Wolf did for Scorpion and Snow Raven replaces one flamer with an ER micro laser.
Okay.
Which is
micro laser.
Just keeps going.
That's
I mean, the flamer keeps going.
The flamer
as well.
keeps going.
It's not a
well, it's
not
damage.
A vehicle one,
you're going to do. It's damage. Yeah, it's a laser. So.
But the 2 flamers, you're still heating up mechs, you're still wiping out vehicles, potentially. You're still doing all sorts of nasty stuff. I reckon they're great.
I think they're great too. I really like it. But the Hell's Horses as well are also doing the Gnome suit, which I was talking to you about before, which is like a big, heavy hitting one.
Yeah.
But, so that's what. Have you got one for the Inner Sphere you want to have a
I've got a few for the Inner Sphere,
all right,
actually.
we'll have a look at that. We'll get back to... I'll find the Gnome. We'll have a look at the Gnome in a second. But, Terrence, what have you got?
Well, I was looking on Megamech. Like, I'm not particularly well prepared because battle armor isn't my thing. But
No.
I was looking on Megamech, and Megamech, you can say, load up a unit, and then you just pick the unit from a drop-down menu, and you say battle armor, and then you say Inner Sphere box set, and it comes up with like dozens of them. And I just went through,
crazy.
and they're just insane. But there's another one. I mean, the Grey Death ones are the Nighthawk ones are like the best. I love them. I think the Grey Death is slightly different to the Nighthawk. Yeah. So the Nighthawk is power armor light, which I think maxes out at like 300 kilos or something stupid like that. It's really, really light. Really light.
Yeah, it's like the Protomechs. They use kilograms for building them and all that sort of thing. So have you got a picture there on it? And I'll just put it on there.
Well, so the Grey Death standard...
Oh, that's a standard suit. Okay, for Grey Death. Okay, so this works... The Grey Death standard suit works just like a Inner Sphere standard suit.
Yeah, it's basically Inner Sphere standard, but I think they're a little bit more... they're focused on scouting and stuff, the Grey Death guys, because they were the ones that originally had the Nighthawks. So the Grey Death Legion are the ones that originally had the Nighthawks.
Because they've got 2 suits that they made. They made that one, and then they had a lighter suit as well. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
So these guys, you've got one modular weapon mount and you've got one anti-personnel weapon mount. And I think you're allowed to put the modular weapon on everybody. Some of them they give you, so they'll give you like anti-personnel weapons for 3 of the troopers, and then one of them gets a support weapon.
Yeah, that's right.
And you get the laser or something like that, but you only get one of them. So the leader will have that weapon.
So 4 for Inner Sphere normally.
Yeah.
And that's Comstar does 6, I think.
6, yeah. But the 3 dudes will have that. So it was developed.
Wasn't it the Federated Sons gave? I think the Fed Sons gave them some schematics or something on how to make their version of the standard Inner Sphere suit.
Yeah,
and then they just used it.
I think they used these in the clan invasion against Jade Falcon for control of Pandora. There you go. So they used them in like when the invasion was happening. But you just get a weapon mount in the right arm, so you can get a single tube SRM with 4 reloads, a flamer, a small laser, or a machine gun. And in 3069, you can also put a light recoilless rifle in there, so that's cool. You get anti-personnel weapon mount for dealing with conventional infantry, so it's got both.
Yeah.
Each one of them has both, so you can dish out on anti-personnel, and I'm pretty sure you're allowed to do them as separate attacks.
Correct.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Just in case you're doing that. He's got plenty of armor. And, improved sensors. So it's detecting hidden opponents and mimics the function of a portable radar sensor. So they're really focused on scouting. They're actually really, really cool.
Some of the camo stuff that you can get, the stealth capabilities, it basically shields them from big galactic probes.
Yeah.
So they can hide like conventional infantry.
They can just sit there and wait for something to come.
Hugely dangerous.
They're great.
I have visions of War Machine from Marvel. You know, he's like, you can attack different targets. That's cool.
It's quality. But then, I mean, after about 30-50-ish, 30-60-ish, you just get all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
The Kobold was another stealthy one that I quite liked. The Grey Death one is like 600,000 C-bills, just in case you were wondering.
Oh!
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a lot of money sunk into that one.
Yeah. But still, one of those suits, just on its own, if it had like a little stealthy mission thing, they can get everywhere.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're insanely cool. So the Kobold is a Draconis Combine one that they... No. It's based on the Kage, which is a Draconis Combine one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on the Kage. Okay. So it's the FRR, the Free Rasselhag Republic Comstar, and the Second Star League. So they come together in 3062 and just go, well, let's figure this out and make one.
Yeah. We've got 7 worlds left. Can you give us something? Clans have eaten everything else.
So he's got jump, basic stealth. It's a 3 jump and basic stealth armor. Light tag, flamer, or small pulse laser in the support weapon. So that's our squad leader carries one of those. So either a light tag, a flamer, or a small pulse laser. And everybody else gets a small laser or a micro grenade launcher. And you can make anti-mech attacks and ride on omni-mechs because they give them the manipulators.
Nice.
I think they've got basic manipulators.
Yeah. Oh,
or armored gloves or whatever it is.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
But yeah, they're kind of cool. They are
kind of cool.
Do you want to show the picture?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that.
It's sort of funky.
So nice.
But I kind of like the battle armors and infantry that are like stealth based and scout based because it's kind of a really solid function for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get some that actually class as juggernauts, which I'm sure you've found several of.
Oh, definitely.
And I've found one or two of, but let's have a look at your one first.
So we've I was going to talk a lot about the clan stuff, but I think I need to talk a little bit about one in a sphere one.
Oh, okay.
To go up to the one that, and it's also one that I like anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So the Draconis Combine, which we've been focused a lot on. Now, keep in mind, they were one of the 2 realms that were, well, the 3, I guess you'd call it, the 3 realms.
They were on
Republic was just freedom. Yeah. And the clans came down and no.
They were frontline clan war, so they had to develop stuff.
That's right, yeah, because they were really getting mauled, but they had access to all the Omni mech stuff and what sort of thing. So they were, over time, they were doing quite well. But the Kanazuchi battle armor.
Yes.
Okay, so main use is for defense, simply because it's just huge. It is just a huge battle armor suit, and I'll show you a picture of it there. But oh my god, it's a monster. Yeah. So 3058. It's actual. It says its weight here is 2 kilos. 2 tons. 2 tons. Yeah. So 2,000 kilos. But I think we were talking about them before in the normal rules. I don't think they have that. They just, under the basic Total Warfare, if you've just got a battle suit, it's just in a sphere and it just weighs 1. Or clan it's just 1 or something.
I think so. I'd have to double check that in the like specifics and stuff. But yeah, it's an assault class 1, but I think it still only takes up 1 ton as a thing.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. But this one here, they basically saw the suits, that the elemental suits that were coming in, and they saw what they could do, and they wanted something that could take them on. But as we've already discussed, the technology difference is so they had to make it heavy. But its armament, here it is, it's so good. It has a standard medium laser.
It's insane.
On one of its arms. So a medium, that's 5 damage up to 9 hexes. Okay?
Yeah.
Then it's got a big battle claw thing, or you can have it's got another version of a drill. So it acts as like a big, it's not the basic manipulator, it's the bigger one. So
it's a battle claw.
Battle claw as such, yeah. So it can do more damage in physical combat, which is really good. It has 2 anti-personnel weapon mounts. So if you're infantry, you just avoid it. It's really bad.
And that's you do that with a standard rifle platoon of infantry thing. So you treat it as if you're doing that. So if you're going against infantry or anything else with those anti-personnel weapons, it's basically rolling as if you were a standard infantry. So you'd be like 4 dudes, you roll on your thing, see how many hit, see how many do damage, and just work it out. And it's,
And you do it twice.
And you do it for 2 of them. So it's, that's ridiculous.
You can do it at the same lot, or you can split it up. It doesn't really matter. But it also has 2 SRM2s. So it's an SRM2 with, it can fire both of them in the same round. That's what's so good about it. It can actually, so it's not like with the other ones where you just fire 2, then it's reload, fire 2. This is, it can fire everything at once. So when you work out your damage, I think potentially you can do about, 50 points? So it's a base of 4 shooting, that's essentially 4 SRM2s.
Yeah.
And then a medium laser. So 4 SRM2s, what's that? 8 plus a medium laser, 13 by 4.
Wow.
So that's a lot of damage. If you get all of that off, that's a lot of damage. But it is really slow. It's only got a movement of 1 and no jump. So it's get in a position and just hold the line there, which it is actually very good at, because the armor can actually take, I think it was a clan, bought for a clan ERPPC at it. The direct hit virtually destroyed the Kanazuchi. The test pilot inside remained alive, and the suit was still functional enough to respond with a couple of shots for its main weapon.
Wow.
So that's what they were going for. They're going for just a brick that can take the damage and really dish it out, but they just don't have the maneuverability with it. But it's just amazing. And for 72 battle value, BV2.
BV2 is 72.
If it's in the right spot, man,
that's per dude.
That's per dude.
Yeah, so you have to.
That's okay though.
You have to multiply that out, but it's still pretty damn good.
That's right. That's such a use. It's not fast, but it just does everything else. It's so good. It's so nice. Word of this got back to the clans, which is what I was going to talk about, the main one. So Clan Hell's Horses heard about this, and they said, well, look, we need to have something that's a lot more durable, another heavy hitter. And so this is also, so this one here is called the Gnome Battle Armor. Oh,
it's the Kanazuchi's
Alpha Strike,
card.
which we haven't really played, but at least to give you an idea. So 16 points.
Yeah,
there must be.
But that's
four.
Squad.
That's
that's
four
a squad
of
of 4.
Okay. Oh, 3. Oh.
3 damage at short and medium from battle armor.
16.
That's insane.
So anyway, the Gnome. Yeah, that is nasty. Oof. So here's the Gnome. So came out a bit afterwards. It's assault. So use is assault. It's a heavier one. 750,000.
Holy crap.
Per suit. But it walks at 1, but it can jump at 2. So it's a little bit slower, but armament. 1 ER small laser. So that's 5. That's still doing the 5 damage at the Kanazuchi.
Yeah.
I don't think it has the same range, but it doesn't matter.
But it's a reasonable range.
That's right.
ER.
And it has advanced SRM 2.
Wow.
Which is quite nice. That gives you, I think it was a Artemis.
It's got like an
or
Artemis
something.
type
Yeah, I'm
thing,
pretty
doesn't
sure that's how that worked, because I was looking at it and going, oh, gee, that's really nice. But this one here can take, I think it's like, it can take a Clan ER PPC hit and still keep going. Those armor is fixed. It can't. However, while it is able to hold onto the handholds of an Omni-Mech, it lacks the dexterity to make anti-mech swarming and leg attacks. But it does have the jump jets, like I said, but it's only a 60 meter. That's why we do. Okay, the 350 kilograms of armor protecting the Gnome can't survive a direct hit from a Clan ER PPC like the Kanazuchi, but it will stop 2 shots from a Clan ER medium laser. So it's 14 plus 1. So for the sacrificing 1 point of armor, it's got jump, it's faster, it's got lots of weapons. There was a game that I played once, and it was I didn't play. I was watching. There's 2 players. There was one who had was it a star of these?
Okay.
So 5x5. And someone, I don't know what they were thinking, they got a Nova Cat, which is a 70-odd ton Omni-Mech.
Yeah.
And ended it, he walked, I think it was only like a 4 walk. He walked right in the middle of them. So they're in the hexes around.
Well, that's just stupid.
It was, because then they all fired with all their weapons and everything, and it evaporated. It
I was just
just
say that would
wiped
just
out a
disappear.
70-ton mech, or 5 of them. I mean, that's
madness.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, nah.
That happens. That is dead meat.
Yeah, but it looks really nice. But the fact that it can jump and still transport, it can't do the anti-mech, but you can transport it, and it's just amazing. It's so good. I really like it. Yeah, so 83 BV per suit for that. And just the flexibility it has is just amazing. It's really good.
That's insane.
Might even paint some up in Fire Mandrill colours. I mean, the Hell's Horses players will be like, what are you doing? But, maybe I can have it. Maybe I'll capture some. Having some Hell's Horses battle armor troops that actually fit in them, that are trained with them, like you capture them as I saw, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Put them to work.
Well, they're saying the advanced SRM was an attempt to make a battle armor sized streak SRM launcher. And it came about halfway, while boasting enhanced range over standard SRMs, about comparable to Clan Streak. It doesn't have the same all or nothing fire feature, so you still have to fire it even if you roll. But apparently it's got better range.
4-8-12, I think. Then, if it's the
Something
same
like
as
that,
the
isn't
streets,
it? Yeah,
it'd be a 4-8-12 range. What's next on your list?
Well, I mean, we could do a big one for me too, if you like.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've got a couple of funky ones that I want to run past you as well, but we'll do a big one, eh? So this guy just stood out when I was looking on Megamech, because it's only 1,500 kilos. But so on Megamech, it gives you a summary of it off to one side. So you pick the one you want, and it'll give you a quick summary, and then you can load it up if you want to, sort of thing. And this one was just battle claws and SRM, and that's all it's got is 2 heavy battle claws and an SRM2 with standard armor. It's like a heavy inner sphere anti-armor unit.
Ooh.
But I thought, what's the use of that? And then I looked it up, and that's so cool looking.
Wow, the Ogre. Oh,
that's just so awesome looking.
3091. God.
Yeah, he's a new one.
Oh.
Like I say, you go through, and it's nothing. Like, you've got Star League stuff, and then you've got blank. Except for the occasional power armor that shows up because someone's like using something that they've had hidden away for decades. And then the clan invasion happens, everybody gets their hands on the elementals, and they go, holy crap, we remember how to do this. And they start just building battle armor. And this guy comes along like pretty late. But I looked at him and I went, that is so cool. It just looks cool. It's stupid. It doesn't really do much, but it looks so cool. But the twin heavy battle claws, I'm pretty sure that lets you do.
Wasn't it two damage?
Yeah,
1 or something.
Heavy medium mechanized humanoid battle armor with at least 1 can use mechanized battle armor rules, so they can
get a ride.
Omnis. And if you've got at least 1 battle claw or heavy battle claw, you can conduct anti-mech attacks. And I think with a battle claw, you get a bonus to your anti-mech attacks as well, the swarming attack.
Yeah, that's the same as the Salamander.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But
I love the design of it. It looks so good.
Yeah. It carries enough ammo for that one SRM2 to fire 13 times. And it's got almost a ton of standard armor. So it's got solid armor.
It is really good.
It is just armor, claws, and they plugged a missile in there and gave it a bunch of reloads and went, yeah, that'll do you. And they run out there and they just rip things up with these claws.
I mean, if you haven't got a backup weapon or even an anti-personnel weapon or something, you'd need lots of reloads to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. That's why they've got the 13 volleys worth. But, I mean, there's an interdictor version, which is, in addition to the standard pattern, it also produced the interdictor, so it trades away ammunition to add in an ECM suite and upgrade the armor to mimetic.
Which
is the one that if you don't move, it gives you a bonus, like to not be shot. Which is pretty cool, and that's 66 BV per unit. So you've got a little ECM bubble with mimetic armor, and if you get close enough to actually take the mimetic armor like thing down, then you can get close enough for them to get at you, especially with the SRMs.
Yeah,
and
we're talking 4 a unit, guys. We're talking like 1 suit here, but it's 4 per unit.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much ammo they actually traded away, but I'm willing to bet he's still got at least 5 or 6 shots with that thing. So you're not going to be happy. And if he gets close enough to swarm, you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
But I'm like I say, that one doesn't strike me as particularly effective. But when I looked it up on Sana, I looked at the picture and I went, that's cool.
It could be. It's got hope.
That's just so cool. I love it. I love the look of it.
So, Taryn, I've got another one. Do you like the sea?
I do like the sea.
Yes, I like the sea as well. You know who else likes the sea?
I looked, so I know. The clans like the sea.
Clan Goliath Scorpion. Okay?
Oh, yes.
They have the Undine. Sorry, it's all over the place. The Undine battle armor. So 3059. This is an underwater capable unit.
I saw a comment in somewhere about us doing things for underwater units. If you go back through some of our stuff, you'll hear me talk about wanting to do underwater stuff as well. So I'm actually trying to work out a scenario for that. But yeah, UMUs and things. I don't know if we've ever actually mentioned them, but they are quite fun. But this guy is specifically built for underwater operations.
Yeah, that's right. So they were developing a torpedo system that could be used out of the water as well, like a joint sort of combined missile capability. Because they wanted something that was, I say cheap, but you know, I mean, if they have a lot of them, then they can do a lot with them. But something to help protect their underwater facilities and things like that. Not just like military stuff, but there's research and whatever else, you know. But this is a medium class suit that can basically move underwater. All right.
It's got a single UMU.
A single, yeah. So it's not fast,
no.
And it moves the same speed sort of on the surface, but it has a one-shot LRM-5, which acts as a torpedo, or you can fire it above ground at targets.
And I think this is the one we were talking about that can fire out of depth on water into, yeah.
It's really good. But it does have an ER micro laser as a backup. But some people are put off by it because it's a one-shot, but you're paying, what, 31 BV for one suit?
Yeah.
Now, we were talking clans here, so that's cheap.
And that's a micro pulse laser, and it's got a battle claw, so...
Yeah, it can still do it. It can ride and all that sort of thing.
Omniing, it's swarming, mech attacking, and the pulse helps it against infantry.
Yeah, so it's just not fast. Cool. It's just not fast. That's the thing. But I think underwater, I think it can go a little bit faster. From memory.
The one UMU will only give it a one.
One, is it? Okay, yeah. That's fine.
So the UMUs act basically like a jump jet for underwater.
Yeah,
that's all it really is. But if you're moving underwater on foot, like an actual mech, every time you go through water, you have to make a piloting skill check. But if you've got the UMU, you can just jump.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you don't have to make all the checks and all that sort of thing. It's basically just jump jets for water,
and you just fly
so
around.
Technically, they can still move at, I assume, one.
It's one on the surface, but that's when you transport them around.
Yeah,
don't you?
You can still technically walk at one on underwater as well, but you can UMU one.
That's right.
Which means you can go upper levels.
Standard foot infantry, if they want to shoot, they ain't moving. And if they move, they're only moving one. So this guy is he's fine against them.
Oh, he'll do all right, yeah.
But that's really cool. It's something that can shoot underwater and above ground. And it's just, I reckon it's great. It looks really cool as well. It's such a cool looking unit. But, I mean, being medium, it can't really take the big weapons. But that's okay. They can take a bit of damage. That's all you need.
Yeah.
But I like that. I think that's quite cool. I don't know if there's other underwater ones that the clans have made. I just came across this.
There probably are. The Undine is the one that I like. If you say UMU and battle armor, that's the one.
That's the one everyone sort of thinks of. Yeah, that's right.
You say UMU and mech, it's usually the Aqua Gladius, which is just cool.
Yeah. Oh, there is a canon version of the Timberwolf for the clans that actually swaps. That gives it like a 5 UMU, which is nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. All right. What else have you got?
Well, I've got a couple of your favourite thing in the world, which is quads.
Oh. Yes. Okay.
So the Shen Long.
Oh, the Shen Long. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a heavy quad battle armor, and he's got BV2 depending on the turret mount that you take. So it's a modular turret mount, and you just take whichever one you want to use, and it's got mimetic armor. So the mimetic armor is really, really cool because you can sit your quads still for a bit and build that bonus up. And then when someone gets too close, which I think the top speed is like 2, possibly 3. I think it's 2. It's 43 k's an hour. I think it's 2. But if they start getting close, then you can out.
I think that's close to like 4.
Is it? Okay.
Well, 10.8 or something is 1.
Oh, okay. So there might be a 3 or a 4.
Oh, well, with all those legs, you'd expect it to go a bit faster, wouldn't you?
But this one you can get an MRM version, an SRM version, a machine gun version. The interdiction, I'm not 100% sure what that is, and there's a pop-up mine version.
Excellent.
We talked about the pop-up mines. They're very, very cool. And there's also the David version, which I had to look up, right? So the David version is just, it's a David AP Gauss.
Ah, okay. Right.
I think it's just a standard, light Gauss. Battle Armor light Gauss. So it just does 1 damage, 358. But that's not nothing.
5'8".
It's out to 8 range. It's pretty ridiculous. But the mimetic armor is very, very cool. And the modular turret just lets you do whatever you want to do with it. The interdictor version has 2 flamers in the turret as well as an ECM suite in the body. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and those turrets function as a turret. As far as I'm aware, they are technically a turret. So if you want to have a look at the Shen Long, that is the Shen Long.
Sorry.
But the turret, I'm pretty sure, is just a standard turret. It lets you do 360 degrees, so you can run them around and still shoot a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. There was two battle armor suits that are fairly well known simply because of that first Somerset Strikers animated show.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It is in the lore and all that sort of thing. One of them is called a Sloth, which is a quad. And I'll show you a picture of it. Because it's sexy as. Look at that. That's so good.
Yeah, it's good to do the Sloth first because the Fenrir was based on the Sloth.
Oh, was it? Oh, there you go. Yeah. So it's a heavyweight class. It has a movement of, I believe it was 3, but it doesn't have jump. So it moves 3, but that's still pretty good. It has 2 small lasers and a pop-up mine.
Yeah.
So 2 small lasers, that's a potential 6 damage. Range isn't too great, but it moves 3.
Apparently they weren't much of a success. Nobody liked them or something like that. So it was like that was the thing, but they sound pretty cool.
Yeah, well, what it was is this. They because the Somerset Strikers were sent them to basically test them against the clans because they were doing some recon stuff. They were doing little missions. I mean, anyone who's watched the cartoons will know. But it's like they sent them that one, and there's an Infiltrator which I'll show you as well. It's the Mark 1, which was around for a while. There is a Mark 2 of that, which is like an upgrade. But it's really good. I just like the look of it. I think it's great. I think the armor was only like 7 or something. So it's not heavily armored, but it is quite good.
And it's got solid armament.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah.
So the first prototype was deployed by the first Somerset Strikers on Waldorf 5 during an initial live fire test alongside the Infiltrator. And then I think one of the Jade Falcon units I think they went to attack them. They didn't get permission to do it. They just wanted, because the Somerset Strikers were causing them all havoc. They were freeing people and taking tech and doing all this sort of thing. And of course, especially Jade Falcon warriors, they're like,
they don't stand still, do they?
So yeah, but that's what it is. But and the pop-up mine, you'll see it in action on that show. It's really good. It's really, really cool.
I'll have to try and find it, watch it.
Yeah, but so if you want to, we'll get back to the Infiltrator. Talk about the Fenrir because it's based on the quads.
Yeah, so the Fenrir was apparently the successor to the Sloth.
Yeah.
They wanted to make something that worked better and was better to use than the Sloth. So they came up with the Fenrir. And the Sloth looks cool, yes. But look at that.
I know.
That is just so cool looking.
Yum. Look at that. Ooh.
So he's an assault class quad mech from 3060. So it's actually not that far along in the timeline. It's only a little after the thing. But they've got a configurable turret mount. So you've got all your standard armor, all your standard stuff. It moves faster than the Sloth. And apparently they tried to put more armor on it than the Sloth, but they sacrificed some to make sure it was better, more comfortable and better armed.
Well, it moves 4 or something.
It's
not
ridiculous.
Slow. It can't do anti-mech attacks because it's a quad.
Because it's a quad.
Do it.
But that doesn't really matter when you look at the armament. So that configurable turret mount, you can put in machine gun, small laser, small pulse laser, medium pulse laser, SRM4, a mortar, or an ER medium laser. I think
Now that's multiple machine guns and multiple small lasers, but it's only one. It's only one medium laser, he says.
Yeah,
it's a medium pulse laser.
It's a trio of machine guns or small lasers.
Yeah.
So there's three machine guns or small lasers, depending on which one you take. There's 2 small pulse lasers.
Oh, nice.
You can get a medium pulse laser or an SRM4 with 4 reloads. And starting in 3064, the Fenrir can mount 2 additional weapon configurations, an ER medium laser or a heavy mortar to provide indirect fire.
God, imagine that.
And it has a machine gun for self-defense in the heavy mortar one. But that is just, it's really, really solid battle stuff.
It's such a good looking unit as well. It's so nice. Movement of 4 with a medium pulse laser. What's that range? 6?
Yeah, I think so. That when we talk quad battle armor, that's the picture I always see in my head is the Fenrir. I just love the look of that one. It's really, really cool.
What's the BV2 for that one? Have you got the different version?
Yeah, it depends on the version. So the 3 machine guns is 29, which is nothing.
That's nothing. You massacre infantry everywhere you go.
But even against mechs, that's still bad.
Yeah.
That's 3 per unit, and you're going to take 4 in a single stand. So
24 damage potential.
Yeah.
Ooh. You don't have to worry about ammo because they don't track it in the machine gun.
So each one is doing potentially 6 damage, and there's 4 of them. So you've got a potential for 24 damage. So,
People are always looking at the SRM version, though. SRM4. So 4 SRM4s.
With, what did I say? It was 4 reloads. Yeah. So 4 reloads isn't a lot, right? So you'd have to pick and choose where you're going to fire those. But
Definitely.
4 SRM4s 4 times is nothing to, like,
that's
shrug off. You're not there. So, and that's 51 BV for that one.
Yeah.
The small laser, the 3 small lasers is 40 BV. The 2 small pulse lasers is 37. The medium pulse laser is 58.
Yeah.
And the ER medium is 71, and the mortar and machine gun combo is 36.
I'd be interested to look at the mortar version, but just having that pulse laser benefit on those 2 versions.
Yep. But, 2 small pulse lasers for 37 BV, I think that's pretty solid. Oh. Especially if you can use their speed to get in close. That really, really helps, and the pulse helps against infantry.
Definitely.
So.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
The medium pulse does more damage, but those 2 small pulse lasers, you've got a potential for a lot more damage than 1 medium pulse laser if you've got the whole thing going. So I don't know. I think it's cool.
And it just the 2 small pulse against infantry as well.
Against infantry, it'll kill stuff.
But
it'll
you don't
kill
pay
stuff.
movement cost. You don't pay movement shooting penalties with battle armor because they're infantry.
Yeah. The Fenrir long shot was developed in 3076, which uses an experimental battle armor C3 system, which is cool. So you can make it part of your C3 network. We've gone into this in the C3 video, I'm pretty sure. There's a battle armor version which you can put into your battle armor. And it means that standard battle armor counts towards the overall C3 network.
Yeah, but you could do so much with having a battle armor suit with that.
Yeah. The main armament is replaced with a pair of clan spec LRM-5 launchers and enough ammo to fire 2 salvos each and 100 extra kilos of armor.
Okay.
So that is one that you would get in, you would fire off those LRMs and get them gone. They're clan specs, so it doesn't matter how close you get because you don't have a minimum range. And then once that ammo is out of your way, you just use that to do just C3 ranging. And as we've seen, you don't need line of sight to do ranging for C3. You have to have line of sight to use the targeting information to fire, but you don't have to have line of sight in order to send range information into the system. So once they're out of weaponry, you just put them in a building.
That's right.
Or whatever, and leave them there. And you've got that permanent bubble around you of people being shot because they're on the CPU network.
Now keep in mind, you can sort of have different unit combinations.
Yep. Yeah.
If you really want to. So your 4 can run one of those with the C3, and the others could have like, you know, medium pulse laser for big things and machine guns and whatever else. You can just mix and match.
I think it's a lot easier, and I think it's recommended that you take all the same.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I think technically you don't have to.
You could house rules it or whatever. But...
The problem with it is that you do have to fire the same weapon at the same thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of means that, you know, you
can obey the target in all these guns.
So you announce a weapon attack and all troopers in that unit fire the same weapon at the same target.
Okay, so no, you wouldn't do it then.
So you can technically do it, I think.
House rules.
But there wouldn't be any point because technically you're supposed to all fire the same thing at the same target. But if you have, say, 2 of them with one weapon system and 2 of them with a different weapon system, then you can say, okay, these 2 are firing this at that, and these 2 are firing this at that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just take my 4 medium pulse lasers.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I will take my 8 small pulse lasers for slightly less PV, and we'll see what happens.
We'll get closer. Oh
dear.
I really like that. That's such a cool
I love the Fenrir. It's a really good one, and I think that was the one that I was going to do us with the Halloween thing. Have a pack of them chasing some poor mech down.
That's right.
That was my thing.
All right, so Somerset Strikers. We'll go back to them. So as part of their little stuff that they also got this one.
That guy is a very funky looking.
The Mk1. All right. It's been around for a while, the design. It was introduced about 3050, but they did have it around for a little while. It does have like some stealth armor stuff to it, which is quite handy.
It's a prototype stealth.
But its only armament is a grenade launcher. Now, when it first came out and they released the rules for it, it had, I think, 4 shots or something, doing 2 points of damage each, and that was it. It had nothing else, no more weapons. They've changed it so as it doesn't have to track ammo on the grenade launcher now. But it's still just 2 points of damage per shot. So damage output and things like that is not too great. In the fluff, a lot of the commanders were using them for non-stealth, non-hunting small things and just sort of sending them in saying, oh, it's battle armor, you know, they can take it. No. That's not what it's for.
No, that's not what they're for.
Good. I mean, 18 battle value.
Yeah.
Also, look, it can't really take a lot of hits. I think it can just take like a clan laser and that's it or whatever, but yeah, but I mean, it can hide or something. It's cool, but I mean, it's got a bit of an ungainly walk apparently. The design, you know, because the early thing or whatever, but it's got one manipulator, which is still pretty handy. But I don't.
Which means if you've got an Omni-Mech, it can take a lift.
Yeah,
which is cool.
But they weren't really.
And the grenade launcher is built to fire a burst of grenades. So it's technically a burst weapon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. They dubbed the suit the Waddle because of the way it moves. But small arms fire and things like that doesn't hurt it at all. Most battle armor, even the lightest ones, don't really feel like small arm damage.
No,
that you know. But yeah, it was pretty good. But the Infiltrator Mk1, which they brought out later, which looks a lot more full. Look at that one. Look at that.
Oh, nice. I remember seeing that somewhere.
Yeah.
Is he in a TRO or something?
He would be. Yeah, it's quite popular. This one sort of took over. It has jump capable. It carries the AP Gauss stuff. So it's a lot older, like so 3060. You know? But it is a scout medium. It's sexy as, but jump and I mean you're best to jump because it's only got a 1 warp. So 1 mag shot with Gauss rifle and 1 anti-personnel weapon mount. Which the other one, if they could have put that on there, probably would have helped.
Yeah,
infantry. Normally, infantry are pretty common, but most people don't play with them. So, but again, it's got a standard stealth armor, and it's 49 BV a unit.
That's very, very cool. I was wondering if it might have counted as an area effect weapon, but
no.
It's a burst weapon.
But look, if you used it for what it was designed to be used for, it was quite good. It just didn't have jump. It wasn't so fast. But if you get in a position and you just hide, it's quite good.
Yeah, well, it's an infiltrator.
Yeah, that's right. Just not fast.
Just not a fast infiltrator, that's all. But Prototype's stealth and the ECM thing, sneak suit thing, that's pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But it's one of those, you have to sort of use the rules for like hidden units and all that sort of thing to really get the most out of them.
Improved sensors and a laser microphone. The special ops version.
For karaoke.
Yeah,
you know?
the special ops version down there. But it's got a remote sensor dispenser.
That's a remote sensor dispenser?
Yeah, a remote sensor dispenser.
A remote sensor dispenser.
Say that 20 times fast.
Does it dispense sensors when on request, or does it do something else?
It remotely dispenses a sensor when the remote dispenser sensor was censored with the sensor. No, I lost it. Damn. Oh, dear.
All right. Who else is on your list? You've got a few. Is there another one?
Well, I think I'm basically done there. I think the only other one I could probably have a look at would be the specifically the Nighthawk. Because I do really like the Nighthawk. But the Grey Death Legion Scout unit is the Grey Death, the one that I did before.
Yeah.
But the Nighthawk is a light power armor unit. It isn't heavy battle armor. It isn't light battle armor. It isn't battle armor. It's power armor light. So it's only 400 kilos. But they come standard with standard stealth armor. At least the ones from 2720, the ones that were Innisphere Star League ones. So this is the beginning one.
Yeah.
So it's got the standard stealth armor. And I think there's 2 separate versions of weapons and equipment that they give, but I can't remember what they are. But what you've got is it's basically just a sneak suit. It's a recon unit, but it comes with a ECM in there. So it's got an ECM suite. It's only got 120 kilos of armor, so sod all.
Yeah.
I think it works out to like 2 points, 3 points. You can survive one machine gun hit basically, and then you're out.
But again, small arms fire probably doesn't affect it at all.
Not really.
So your little side arms, forget them.
Yeah, it's got a 3 jump, which is cool, and extended life support, which I think just gives you like better stuff with heat and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's got armored gloves, which means you can give it an infantry weapon. Usually they use, apparently in the Star League, they use a Mauser 960, which is like a machine gun, I think. But it's it basically counts as an infantry weapon rather than a battle armor weapon. So it's not really battle armor scale, but it's got the armored gloves, so it can use a weapon and it can hold on to Omnimex.
Oh, that's handy. Okay.
Which is cool, and it can make anti-mech attacks.
Didn't they say they had some problems with the pilots were trying to, because it's an extension of, it's a suit they actually wear as a suit, and they're punching with it. They could still injure themselves. They had some design.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I remember something along those lines.
I think it would be quite like if you're hitting things with basically your fist covered in metal, then
you're gonna
you've got problems. There was the Mark 22 for the SLDF Royal Division. But but they didn't. They developed them in 2749, so like SLDF Star League type thing, and then they didn't actually put them into production until the Jihad era. So they're like, yeah. It doesn't get the anti-personnel weapon, but it gets rid of the ECM, but you get an auto-loading grenade launcher.
Okay.
So you don't have your ECM anymore. You still got standard stealth armor, as far as I know, but you don't have the ability to carry a weapon anymore. So you don't get the anti-personnel gun, but you do get a auto-loading grenade launcher, which is just as good against infantry.
Well, I reckon.
And then the Mark 30 was 2744 with standard stealth, jump capability of 90, and top ground speed of 30 k's an hour. But it was just the same, basically the same thing, but with the upgraded speed, because the top speed for the original one is 10 k's an hour.
Okay,
which is like
so
one max. But the other one's 30, so it is like 2 or 3, I think. I think 2. It'd be 3. No, it might be 3.
It should be 3.
Yeah.
If it's like 32 and something, yeah.
Well, their BV is like 11 or 55, depending on which one you take. So it's not bad.
If you have someone that tags, though, it's like bugger all. And if you're facing someone who's spent lots of BV into each of their individual units, that's a lot of BV to redirect to go after something cheap.
But even if you're playing just the standard type rules for LRMs and indirect fire and all that sort of stuff, these guys, there's standard stealth armor, reasonably quick, good solid jumping capability, and a light weapon. And you can put them in buildings, you can put them on buildings, you can put them in forest, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. They get the bonus from the stealth armor, and you can spot for your indirect fire, all your LRM troops that are back here, they've got a spotter up the front, and it's gold.
Well, you'd like that for your LRM carriers, wouldn't you, mate?
Especially against objectives and things, because
definitely
they can even sit like right next to the objective until someone comes along and kills them. I like them. I reckon they're cool, and they're cool looking. But yeah, like I say, the scout and stealth thing is just, I don't know. I automatically associate that with battle armor and power armor.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you got one more?
I've got one for the clans. Does that scare you?
That looks like a Kodiak had a mini-me.
Well,
that does scare me.
You're not far off it. So we're going to Clan Ghost Bear.
It is Ghost Bear.
So Ghost Bear like to make big smashy stuff. This is the Rogue Bear.
Okay.
Rogue Bear. It is basically a frontline unit, as they call it. It is heavy. A Gauss rifle will take it out, but that's what you need.
Yeah.
All the armor and the trooper inside. Okay. So introduced in 3073. So it's it walks at 1, but it does have jump capability of 2. It has 2 machine guns, and it has an SRM-3 with 4 reloads and 2 heavy battle claws.
Wow.
So it can ride into battle. It can do a lot of damage. It's got lots of armor. It's got reach with the SRM-3, and machine guns will take care of whatever problems you've got with infantry. You know,
oh, wow. Those are vibro claws.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's really nasty. BV2, 67 per unit, but you would pay it.
Yeah.
Because
I'd take
amazing.
I'd take a star of those.
Forget like your advanced tech, whatever. I just want that destroyed. So I can set a point in there to kill it.
Lads, you, and you over there. Kill
That's
that
right.
thing.
This offends me. Remove it from my site. And this is who you send in for it. But it's really cool. So it's produced by Clan Ghost Bear. Initially confused for the Golem, the Rogue Bear is a heavy battle suit that was initially employed with garrison units, especially those of the King's Arm, who were incorporated into the Ghost Bears. So when the Ghost Bears, when they took all the planets from the Free Res Lab, they were a bit different. They actually said, look, we'll work with you. Like, we own you now, essentially. Yeah. But it wasn't the transition was actually fairly good.
You're ours now, but we're not going to be a-holes about it.
Yeah, you know? No, well they weren't. Apparently, compared to some of the other clans, actually quite
Jade Falcon.
Jade Falcon comes in. That's
horrible.
All smoking jaguars, because they weren't around much longer.
No.
But sorry, spoiler alert. If you need to, and you've just finished painting up a galaxy worth of smoke jackets, it's okay. It's still used.
Yeah, just not for much longer.
But I tell you what. Yeah, that's a nice
a solid design. I like it.
Looks really cool. It's definitely Ghost Bear themed, but there's that's nice.
Well, you showed me the picture, and I'm like, Ghost Bear.
Yeah,
that's got to be Ghost Bear because that's what it is.
Oh, it's so nice.
I'm surprised they're not called Ghost Bear. That's solid, and there's a couple of different versions too.
There is, yeah. Just read it. Just read out one of them so we know.
So the HR version was. A prototype, and they're mixing Rasselhag and Ghost Bear, and they've mixed Innisphere and Clan Ghost Bear tech. Intended as heavy reconnaissance unit, replaces the standard armor with basic stealth, provides as much as a standard elemental suit. To further enhance protection, it uses a camo system that makes the armor more difficult to find. So you can have basic stealth and a camo system, apparently. That's just rude.
Ooh.
That's rude. The partial wing allows it to move up to 90 meters at a time because the partial wing gives you extra on your jumps. So that's cool. Armed only with a machine gun and anti-personnel weapon mount. It isn't intended to face heavy forces, but to find insurgents. As it does not quite fit in with the Ghost Bear method of warfare, it was not deployed widely. But still.
Faster moving with a higher jump, and it's still got like 2 machine guns. Is still for what it is.
The 90 meters with the partial wing is definitely a 3-hex jump.
That's nice.
That's definitely a 3-hex jump. And the machine gun and an anti-personnel weapon, and then stealth and camo. That's just rude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Reactive armor.
Reactive armor. Is that from certain types of weapons?
Yeah, I think it's ballistic. Explosive.
Explosive?
Yeah, missiles, artillery, and mortars. When these weapons hit reactive armor protecting the area, the damage is reduced by 50%. But then, though effective against missiles and artillery, the armor is no more effective than standard armor against other weapon types and physical damage. There's several cases where unlucky weapon fire has initiated an armor explosion, stripping the reactive armor away from the protected location, leaving the unit extremely vulnerable.
Oh, wow.
So it's an up or down thing, but it's pretty cool.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
There's a bunch of these. So there's reflective armor that lets you brush off direct energy weapons, but takes extra damage from ballistic, I think it is.
Yeah.
And there's, I think it's ablative that helps you with ballistic weapons, but is melted by other stuff, and explosive weapons don't damage it. And reactive gives you 50% damage from missiles, artillery, and mortars, so anything explosive, and then just a standard against everything else. So that's not too bad.
But I mean, if you know who you're going up against, you know, and what they sort of
then
prefer
you've got
using.
that. But there's a Dark Age upgrade for the Rogue Bear, which reduces the SRM launcher to a 2-pack with 4 shots.
Okay.
Keeps the machine guns, but uses heavy battle claws instead of vibro claws, and then upgrades the armor to reactive armor instead of standard.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And that's 76 PP too, so instead of 67. So it's not that much more. And you're only dropping 1 SRM tube, so it goes from a 3 to a 2. So that's not nothing.
No, that's okay. Because remember, they're not usually running around on their own.
No.
So they have their mates with them.
Exactly. I like that. That's very cool.
There was one more.
I've never seen that one before. I want to point that out. I've never seen that one before. He's very cool. What do you got?
Another one for the clans.
Yes.
This one's interesting.
That one I do know.
Yeah. So this one is called the Sylph. All right. There is one clan, I think, that designed it and wanted it. I think, Cloud Cobra, which has a high concentration of aerospace.
Yes.
Okay.
You've mentioned them before.
And warships and stuff like that. So, don't go attacking them in the sky. It's not a good idea. But this is a light suit. Has a top speed on ground of 10k. Comes with a micro pulse laser and a one-shot bomb rack. We talked about bomb racks, and they're quite handy. So you're probably looking at about 70 odd BV per unit. I'd have to double check. But Cloud Cobra to augment their vast aerospace forces with a fully airborne battle armor suit. Naming it after elemental spirits representing air, development of the suit was driven as much by the Cloud Cobra's faith as it was by their Khan. So they're very religious as well, apparently. But there's a lot of variety in what all their people do.
Yeah.
So first deployed in 3060, it's become a staple. Special training.
Unless they had some trouble getting VTOL, because it's technically a VTOL.
That's like a VTOL. Follows those rules. And we were talking about loading and unloading stuff, so that's
so you can have a loading, like a carrier helicopter up at a certain level, and as long as you can get your VTOL to that same level, you can load them in the air and take off.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool.
So the right arm actually has a battle claw. So the left arm has the weapon, the laser, and there's a battle claw in the other one. So that's still pretty good. But it does have like I said, the bomb rack.
One-shot cluster bomb rack. That's cool.
So adapted from the jump jet standard on other battle suits, which can maintain a steady airspeed of 53 k's an hour.
Wow.
4? 5?
That's got to be a 4 or a 5.
I think it's a 5. So in addition to the normal controls found in other suits, it utilizes a complex system of pedals and leg harness when in flight. Any loss in concentration will more likely than not send the Sylph into an uncontrollable death spiral. So yeah, a lot of training in using those. But that's really good.
The Sylph is clan, so
yeah,
let's look at a squad of 5 here in here. It's got a 10-inch VTOL move for Alpha Strike. Whoops.
Go
back one. There we go. Yep, there you go.
All right.
So the Alpha Strike gives it a 10-inch VTOL move.
So 5.
So that'd be 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so +2.
That's madness.
That is very cool. It's like it's light. It's only light, so it can't really take a lot of damage. I mean, probably a clanny medium will probably take it out.
Probably, yeah. But I mean, the squad of 5 is listed here on the master unit list as 286 BV. I don't know how accurate that is. It should be right. 16 points for Alpha Strike, but 286 BV. You can't get a mech for 286 BV. So not easily anyway.
Having VTOL movement is handy. You've got a lot of flexibility, but the LBX cannons are probably going to get a bit of grief.
But
so
if
be careful
you've
with that.
Got 5 inches of VTOL movement, that VTOL, it's not the same as jump, right? So when you jump, you are limited to how high you can go by your jump jet.
Correct.
Right? So if you've got 3 jump jets, you can only go up to level 3. Right? If there's another one that's 3 levels higher, then you can jump up. But you can't go any higher than 3 at a time. VTOL, you can spend 1 movement point and just raise a level, and you can keep doing that. You can go as high as you want or as low as you want.
And you stay, yeah.
And that's really, really cool.
But I think with VTOLs, they have to pay the cost to go down as well. Whereas with a jump jet, you just move to the hex. So you could start at, say, a level 10. If you've got a jump of 3, but you're on a level 10, and you just go a hex or 2 or 3, you can... down's not really
you just spend your 3 to move 3. These guys, you have to spend 1 to come down.
So, sort of keep that in mind.
Thing. But, I mean, it's still very, very cool.
Yeah. There is an upgrade. There's a couple of upgrades. There is an upgrade that I just had a look here. They've replaced the bomb rack and the laser with a heavy machine gun in the right hand and a standard machine gun in the other.
Wow.
And it also has a searchlight. So when it goes hunting at night, it doesn't have any penalties.
Oh, yeah. The Undine had a searchlight as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So BV1 is coming up at 37 a unit. But that's a lot of damage output. So what's that? 5 damage. 5 damage a suit at short range. Forget standard infantry, you'll just kill them.
Yeah, they'll get wiped out, especially if they're out in the open.
Guns.
A searchlight, and 5 points of machine gun damage.
Yeah.
And I think,
With VTOL?
With
so get where it
VTOL.
needs to go? Yeah.
Nice.
There's a couple of others. There's the Snow Raven did one, and there's one called the Tinkerbell. Interesting. But it's cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, the training that you'd have to do, like they were talking, would be...
It's a lot harder
a lot
to
more.
pilot something like that than it is to like either pilot battle armor jumping or to pilot an actual VTOL.
Yeah, I reckon.
So it's a lot different.
You get shot and you're like, oh, because of just a little bit.
But I mean, you look at the size of the jets on his back and just think, well, I mean, that would be difficult to control.
Yeah. But he's lots of fun. He's lots of fun. I'd love to get him just to try him, just to see. For scenarios and things like that, it'd be great.
Are you right?
Yeah.
And we're back.
There you go, I'll show you this one.
Oh,
look at that.
Wow.
All right, everyone. So
I've not seen him before.
This is an inner sphere design, all right, made by General Motors, and it was introduced in 3070, so it's a bit more sort of advanced stuff. I'm pretty sure, I don't want to butcher it. The Hauberk? Hauberk? Is that how you'd say it?
Hauberk?
Hauberk?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but look, used for defense. It's along the lines of the Kanazuchi and things like that. It is an assault weight one, so 2 kilo. It only has a base speed of 1. I don't actually think this jumps. It's more of a defense one. It's got a small laser and an LRM-5 with improved stealth for 70 BV per unit.
Okay,
that's pretty cool. So it mounts improved stealth armor to keep from being targeted effectively. The size of the battlesuit precludes its ability to be transported on Omnimex or perform anti-mech operations, though it does mount a battle claw, so you can transport it. So its slow speed generally limits its use to defensive operations, though it has been known to travel by armored personnel carrier, which would be cheap. Load them in, get them fast, some hovers.
Dead set.
So the largest gun is an LRM-5 that only comes with 5 reloads. So squads often pop up from ambushes thanks to the stealth armor, and then they fire the missiles into the rear armor of a mech as it walks by. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
For close range sport, it carries a small laser. It excels when it can soften up enemies from long range and then finish them up close. LRM-5 per suit, LRM-20 per squad per round.
That's cool.
So we're talking standard LRM range. 21. That's so good.
That's
and
very
it
cool.
Looks good too. So
yeah, it looks amazing. I've never seen that one before.
It's a sexy looking thing, eh? It really is nice. So new Avalon. It's probably a cadet that said, "Oh, look what I made," but I'm super smart. What's this? So there's a variant, the number 2, created specifically for the urban combat in Avalon City during the Jihad. It removes the weapons and replaces them with a small pulse laser and 2 mag shot rifles.
Nice.
For 63 BB.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, in city fighting, that would be very, very cool.
There's some other versions as well, but it's just so sexy looking as well. It's really good. But having that range for an inner sphere design, to have that sort of range.
That's very, very cool. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, there's some more here. We can keep
Yeah.
I've
got the fast Shih.
the fast Shih, yeah.
We'll do the fast Shih, and then we better stop because we're probably like 6 hours wasting their time here. It just, if you look on something like Megamech or if you go on Sana and just type in list battle armor or something like that, you'll find there's heaps of them out there. And we're not going into different infantry types, like specifics, because there's hundreds of those. You can build anything.
Yeah.
But the fast Shih was Capellan.
Yeah.
And 3062 built. It's a medium, which is pretty cool. And I do like this one because it's one of the ones that gets you a tag unit. So it's got a modular weapon mount, an anti-personnel weapon mount, and a mine dispenser.
Those dirty Capellans.
I like it.
Yeah.
So you can put on a flamer, a light recoilless rifle, a machine gun, a small laser, or a light tag. And I think this is one of the ones that just gives you the one weapon on the leader.
It's a support. Yeah.
Yeah.
The tag is like a one-off sort of. He's got it, and no one else has it, sort of thing. I think the unit has it.
Yeah, actually, the whole unit can take one. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So they got one in each.
Whoa.
Wow. It's
That's
equipped with the magnetic clamps, which we briefly discussed.
Yeah.
Which are very, very cool.
Yeah.
Located on the knees and under the arms. So it's and clunk on and it can.
So it does a Superman on top of the.
Basically, you'd clamber up the thing, and there'd be like a magnetic clamp shoot out from here and clamp onto the mech, and then one would come out of your knee, probably on the side of the knee, and just because you'd be holding on from the side. So yeah,
no, they're all Supermaning.
They're all Supermaning it. Sorry, buddy, I'm ruining it. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, so the magnetic clamp lets you treat any mech as an omni-mech, so that's really cool.
I'll grab the picture here while you're talking.
Oh yeah, because they are cool looking.
There he is, pooping away.
The mine layer is
that's cool.
It's just a mine dispenser. And also has mine clearance equipment in its basic manipulators. So
that's handy.
It can lay mines and it can also remove mines, which is very, very cool. That helps you do a lot of stuff. The first variant was 3074. Completely remove the mine equipment to make enough space for a man-portable plasma rifle or a light gauss.
Ooh.
The battle armor version of a light gauss. So that's pretty cool.
So it does function like the standard inner sphere battle armor. So it can jump. So a walk of 1 or a jump of 3, but it can't. I don't think it can jump until it gets rid of the mine dispenser backpack. It's like a backpack. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the same with the it's the same as the SRMs. You can't jump until
you jettison it. Yeah,
until you dump it. So
that's the main difference between that's the inner sphere could just. It doesn't matter which faction. All in the lore, they all had trouble with a SRM pack. They couldn't. They just.
Couldn't
they just
figure
didn't
out
have the
how to do it.
technology,
Yeah.
And the soldiers, they need to be built like elementals, I think, for it to work properly. But you fire off your SRMs, you empty the pack, you jettison it, and then they can start jumping 3. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, and these guys, you just lay your minefield, and then you can start jumping 3. But that's they've still got a decent amount of there's 350 kilos of standard armor.
Yeah.
So that's going to give them a decent amount of points before you kill the dude.
Well, I think that's 8 and then 9 for the pilot or something.
Yeah, like it's 7 or 8 and then 1 for the pilot. That's not too bad. But the magnetic clamps and mine dispensing and mine clearing plus light tag. I mean,
that's nice.
That's gold.
Battle armor suit.
It's pretty cool.
That's cheap. That's cheap to do that. 20, was it 23 with a light tag? No, sorry, 30 with a light tag.
Yeah, 30 with light tag.
Oh. For clearing mines. One unit for 120 BV or something.
Yeah. And that's they put the clamps on there because the only omni-mech they had available to them was the Shen. So yeah. The Fashi 2. Experimental version. Custom refit by Series Metals. Clan technology Myanmar boosters. Ooh.
Oh.
Lets them move faster.
Yeah.
Lets them move faster, but improve their strength as well, allowing the armoured soldiers to tear through more mech armour with their manipulators.
Ooh, yeah.
Came at the cost as the anti-personnel mount and 150 kilos of armour had to be removed.
Okay.
Only withstand 2 bursts from a machine gun. 4 of these suits were built due to the limited number of Myanmar boosters. So there's one little squad of them out there somewhere just going, yeah, we're the best.
Yeah, the Death Commandos probably have those.
Probably. Yeah. They've got something specific they want to do with them. But I like the idea of laying mines with a battle armor unit and clearing them.
And to be able to clear them is so good.
That's very cool. Very cool.
Well, that's it for this video. We've talked this. There's more there. Have a look. But I tell you what, we just touched on some of them. But I can't wait to actually start designing our own. This is going to be cool. There's just so much here.
Definitely going to be interesting. We've been talking too long, haven't we, buddy?
No, speaking of quad battle armor.
The Fenrir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we
All
go.
good.
All right,
That
everyone.
was Battle Armour.
So thank you for watching this video and subscribe. Goodbye.
Bye.